Hey, y'all, it's your girl, Coach Christal. Happy Monday. I hope your Monday isn't Mondaying too hard so far, but if it is, we got a little inspiration for you. If you're first joining us, this is the People on Purpose podcast, where each month I get to talk to someone who I know for a fact is living a life not just in purpose, but on purpose. And today we're going to be joined by Courtney Joly-Loudermilk, who is the CEO of Reach Leadership. Now, before we get started, you might have just happened upon Steps and Stages. You might have just found Coach Christal, but we have a mantra that starts each and every one of our interactions, and it just says that a lot of things happen before this, and I guarantee a lot of things are going to happen after this, but we promise to be here with you now. Please be here with me now. Now, if you're thinking about living a life on purpose or having a purpose-driven life, it's often the fact that most people want something that they don't know how to get. And that's where we see the plethora of information. There's a lot of how-to information out there, but before the how comes the what. You have to know what you would love. You have to know what you would love to do. And you have to know what you're willing to do to actually step outside the box of that hypnotic rhythm and live a life by design and not default. Now, I met Courtney probably I think 2 years ago now at a conference and immediately clicked. I thought she was one of the most dynamic and charismatic people I'd ever met. And then I realized she was doing the work of not just helping people live a better life and leadership and coaching, but she was actually doing it for herself. So I want to talk to you about Courtney and her work at Reach Leadership. Courtney, welcome to People on Purpose.
Thank you so much for having me, Christal.
It's a deep pleasure. How have you been? What's going on?
I'm really good. I handled this Monday morning pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
There was a little 7-year-old meltdown that happened, lots of tears. But we got the snacks packed and on we went. So cheers to Monday morning. Cheers
to Monday morning. Yes. It's interesting, right, Courtney, because I think a lot of people sometimes miss the opportunity to celebrate. And so the fact that you're doing great is one of the things that I want people to get used to saying out loud.
Yes.
Right. We don't always have to start with, well, it's Monday, right? Like really being so clear that celebrating is also that currency of having more to be abundant about and with.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Celebrating with people. I found myself celebrating walking home after I dropped him off. It's walking home. I'm talking out loud, smiling. That was good. I said that was good. I didn't bite at that. That was good.
Right. I didn't take the 7-year-old rage bait. I'm learning. I'm growing. Right. Exactly. All the things. Right. You got to celebrate everything.
Celebrate it. Yes.
I kind of told people who I think you are. Tell the people in your own words who you are, what you do, what you love.
Oh, thanks. Okay. So I'm Courtney. I use she, her pronouns. I'm up here in Massachusetts. And for about 20 years, I've worked in education. I'm a special educator by training. That's where it all started. It rolled into disability and access services. And I started to get very curious about all the layers of a truly inclusive learning experience. Mm-hmm. How do you make it for everyone? This kind of rolled into mental health education and community programming. I started working with leaders. In the last, I'll call it like 5 years or so, there's been a lot of work I've done around role clarity. Now, I didn't know this necessarily 5 years ago. I knew about role clarity. I knew about its importance, but I didn't quite put my finger on it until more recently with Reach Leadership, that it is such a foundational must-have to know your role and be clear about it. And that's in whatever role you choose. Yeah. So that's, I think I take with me, I imagine like carrying a sack of knowledge, always the special education, inclusion, disability access, and now leadership, how I'm working with senior leaders at schools and nonprofits to help those individuals who are leading do their work in role clarity so that the people who are that are following that leader are doing the same, and so on. So it gives a broader reach. It's really rewarding. And always I'm just like so happy to be in your company and talk about the work and your work and how it all gels. So thanks again for having me.
No, it's wonderful. I think what you're also kind of laying out for a lot of people is that sometimes, especially in this crazy climate of people leaving jobs, missing jobs, getting laid off, people think they have to reinvent themselves, throw the baby out with the bathwater. What I've been doing is not valuable anymore. I got to find something new to do. But really, it's an accumulation. Mm-hmm. All of these things that you've been learning and doing, where do they actually fit? And if they don't fit with who you want to become, we can decide to let them go. But at the same time, let's not be too quick to eliminate all the work we've done, really trying to find that place where it kind of galvanizes into something new.
Yes. Yeah. Keep the wisdom. Maybe we get rid of a title. Maybe we get rid of the, practice that's not working, but how do we keep the cumulative wisdom?
Yeah.
And proudly, and let it always reminds me of that word, multi-potentialite, someone who kind of like does all these things at once.
Yeah.
Hold on to it all. Keep it. Keep it.
I love it. Now me and Courtney were talking just a little bit before you guys joined us, but we were talking about her vision board. Now, some of y'all know, if you've been following Coach Chris for a long time, I'm like, I don't care nothing about a vision board, because a lot of people just go to parties and cut out pretty pictures that have nothing to do with their life, and they haven't written the vision first. But I actually know that Courtney has written the vision and made it plain. So and she was talking this morning, because a lot of people get stuck on their vision as if it's a plan, but it's an expansive tool. It's constantly moving and changing. And so she was talking to me this morning about her vision board, where something just moved this morning, and she showed it to me. Courtney, would you be willing to show it to the people?
I have to show the people, and I have to give props to my mentor. My mentor said, so you've never done a vision? You're such a creative. You've never made a board. And I said, exactly like you said, I'm not interested in something that's plain and hung. And this actually is not hung on purpose. It moves all around the house with me, because I move all around, and it comes in the car with me, and it grows, and we add to it.
Look at this. Yes.
And I move pieces around. I'm sorry, Mom, if you're watching these. I know these cards you gave me were not intended for this, but I needed to write on them. This is the point. It's supposed to live and breathe. It's supposed to be interactive. You're supposed to be able to take it off and talk. Look at, where am I this quarter? Am I making goals? But where am I in my life? And there's a pair of roller skates up here, because that needs to happen. I need to blade. I need to roll. It's about your life. It's about the whole picture. Yeah. She's got some family pictures up here, but it is very much the vision of where the business is going, who I am and who I'm becoming as a whole. So it's a great tool. I recommend. Yeah. Like you said, if you can kind of treat it as the dynamic tool that it's meant to be, and that it is a check and balance, when I'm stuck and I pull that up and I'm like, all right, where's the inspiration? There is a cutout there from a magazine, I'm sorry to say, but it does say, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Yeah. But that cutout is honest to you.
It's honest to me. Yeah.
Right. Tell us a little bit about this becoming. Tell us a little bit about, the process of becoming the CEO of Reach Leadership. Tell us a little bit about how Courtney grew into the CEO Courtney.
Oh, wow. Because, I started this with just like a little bit in my heart. There was something in there that it was not defined. So I've spent 2 years listening to it carefully. And as you know, my process, I've done a lot of showing up and shutting up in different spaces before I go out and create something. What is needed? What is important? What is real? What is my truth? And what is not going to add noise out there.
Yes.
So it's been 2 years.
A form of integrity. Like, I just want to be honest, right? Like, there's a lot of proliferation of the same ideas in a different package. And I think people really got to be clear, like, what am I adding to the conversation? Where's the value add? Not just the limelight for me. How do I get a little bit of light, or how do I actually stay integral to my gift?
To my gift and to all the previous wisdom, our collective wisdom as a human race leading up to this. What are all the evidence-based practices? People have been looking at this and talking about this for hundreds of years. Where is it? And just getting, finding yourself through that. What do we know, and how can I be a part of building that and moving it forward? So it's been, I kind of like, I'm like imagining I'm opening up my chest, my heart. It's a raw process of like, what, who am I? What am I doing here? Do I belong here? It's a lot of investigation, evaluation of the industry, let's say, and then myself. But honestly, every day it feels right. Every day I come back to this desk and I'm back at it, and it's been real. So honestly, in January of this year, 26, I rebranded for Reach Leadership. And it feels so right. So I feel like I'm finally in this space of shining. My friend David Spellman always says, like, get in the light. There's something you've got to say. No one's going to drag you there. You've got to get in the light. But I wasn't quite ready. So these last 2 years have been about building my own readiness, building my own role clarity. How does this also map what I'm building to what I know about myself as a worker, someone who loves 14, 15-hour days? Is that what I'm
Yeah.
building?
Yeah.
Or did we learn something that's not so balanced? And, you know, and how am I going to be that and live that alongside people who are asking me to support them in their journey of role clarity? So that vision board, I think, is like a litmus test in a lot of ways. You hold it up and compare, like a mirror a little bit. How am I doing what I want to be doing?
Right. Because if you've been honest about who it is you really want to become, then that board is going to tell you if you're doing it. Right. We say you want to make your future self proud every 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days. Like, is she happy with what I'm doing right now? Like, if she's not, then I'm on the wrong track. Right. I got to move. I got to change lanes. Right.
That's it.
Talk a little bit, Courtney, about your practice of readiness. Like, how did you become ready? Right. Because I think ready is a decision. You know, you just decide, okay, this is it. We're going to just jump in and figure it out. But I think a lot of people want incremental markers of like, okay, I was ready when I got the logo. Then I was ready when like, what were your readiness markers?
This is a great example of readiness, being with people who I trust, whose work I believe in, and openly dialoguing about what you're doing. And as that is happening, it's part of your readiness process. It is like an incremental step of the stage that I'm in. You know, and then listening, like checking in. Is this right? Is it sound? Is it truthful? So I've got a lot of people like that. I'm thankful to say in my life. And then there are lots of strangers. I had a goal when I started this company 2 years ago that I would, and it's going to sound silly now because no, it was 20 people a day. That was it. It was, I want you to meet 20 new people a day. So I did a lot of outreach, a lot of cold calls and messages to people, but I wanted to know, what are you doing? And how is that next to, where does that live next to my work?
Right.
And every time you introduce yourself and your ideas to someone, it's a little bit of a readiness test. Am I ready to say this out loud? You know?
Yes. I tell people all the time, you want to jumpstart your transformation, introduce yourself to a stranger.
Yeah.
They have nothing to hold you to. They have no backstory. Whatever you tell them becomes your new truth. It's a practice.
Right. Yeah. And then when it's really baked, part of my readiness journey, I'll say, is when it's good and baked, I'll call my mom. I put on my armor and I'm ready. For what she's got, you know. And she's like a great soundboard. But that's it. I think I bring her up because she's someone who thinks really differently. She's in an industry that's very different from mine.
Right.
So if I really want to test something, that's my person. I called her yesterday, and I could feel myself upright. You know, you just like listening in into your body and looking for those signs. You feel ready for this. So I've been lucky. I've been surrounded by a lot of people who say, come and try this out with me, with my team. And really workshop all the ideas.
It's also a marker, though, that I want to just explain to people that your partners in believing aren't always people who agree. Right? They're those people who refine the idea. So your mom as a partner in believing of being like, I believe in you. This thing you're doing, let's shape it a little bit more. You know, that a lot of people get offended by that. They're like, oh, you don't believe in me. No. I'm telling you that what that thing is that makes sense in your head, when it comes out of your mouth, I don't quite get it. So let's fix that. Right? So and you need those refining partners. You have to be in a circle of people who can say to you, I believe in you, but let's get this idea a little bit more clear.
Isn't that true? Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's exactly what she does. And always, I mean, she is cheering me on beginning, middle, and end. But she is a tough critic. That's just how, I mean, you and I have talked about this for our upbringing in dancing, my work in rowing and sports, and in places where I'm used to those critiques. Sit up, taller, longer, go faster, harder. You know, and I'm kind of hungry for it. That's what I'm interested in.
When you meet people who critique is their love language, right? It's a little weird. People find it a little bit weird. I'm like, but what can I do? And they're like, you're great. No. What can be better, right? And that's actually a practice. What I think some people misconstrue that as, that's not just a practice of like self-deprecate. It's not that. It's actually a practice of abundance. It's actually saying that we are in a limitless infinite capacity to grow, and I don't want to get stuck. So tell me where I can grow. Like, tell me what's next. I can't always see the possibility of my own being expanding. So show me what's next, right? Give me more feedback, give me more like information so that I can go and grow. Yeah.
And someone like you trusts themselves. If there's something you're saying that is not aligned, I'll probably leave that at the table. But trust me, I know that if you're onto something, I'm interested in hearing it, and I want that. Yeah, or just even on it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Courtney, talk to us a little bit about your parent, right? I think a lot of people here are like, oh my God, start your own business. I got to wait till my kids get out of high school. I got to make sure I got all the things in line, right? Talk a little bit about quieting that kind of strategic voice and living inside the vision.
Oof, yeah. Yeah. It was a big part of the decision I made to start this business. It was actually less about this business idea being fully shaped in any way. It was like I said, it was really just like an internal instinct that I had that I needed to grow something. I wasn't sure what yet.
Yeah.
But I am lucky. I have a partner, my wife and partner was like, go, you got to go see what that is. But a big part of that, being a parent, wanting to be present in my family was a big part of starting this, because it does allow for the balance that I was looking for. Yeah. It allows for, I guess working in role clarity in the job helps me regularly keep that frame of mind in my role as a parent. And a lot of this journey around role clarity started with my work partnering and coaching parents, guardians, and caregivers who were feeling like I am overextended. I am overstretched, and they don't seem to care or motivated, or they're not a partner in this. And I thought, okay, well, there's the friction, there's the rub. And you're right, overstepping in your role. As a result, you're all in their role territory, and they are doing what you do when someone takes away your choice and your agency and your power. That you can shut down. You act out. You shut down. Yeah. So, being a parent, it helps a lot. I mean, it helped this morning with the costume conflict. The morning of, I'm supposed to have a costume. Okay. Yeah. What do you want to be? I was thinking this. You're thinking this. All right. We've got 10 minutes. I grab all the tools that I can, but lots of tears. And I thought, I'm going to make sure in this whole process this morning that this is his. Yeah. I'm not going to I'm just going to keep asking questions. Do you want to try this? Do you want to do this? And put him in the driver's seat. This is his learning. This was his experience. This was his realizing, shoot, I had all weekend and I look at all the fun things I did, but I did not plan this costume. That's not mine. I already did that. I told him I did that already.
Exactly.
And that, what a beautiful, learning, as hard as it was, you want to kind of, I'm going to go back to this provider's name. It's escaping me right now, Christal, but there's a brilliant provider in New York State. I'm so sorry, I can't remember his name, but I've got to tell you, he's doing this research around what caregivers try to mitigate with their out of their love language. And the 4 Ds, he calls them: discomfort, disappointment. We don't want them to be disappointed. Danger. And I mean, just like small scale danger. Yeah. There's a 4th D. I will come back to his name to give credit to this brilliant, but what an important reminder. The alarm bells were going off in my head. Don't try to mitigate.
No.
And interrupt his learning. That's not your role. Your role is to hold. And I grabbed the tissues. My role was tissues this morning.
Yeah.
Blood.
And I'm going to listen, and I can wipe the tears, but I'm not going to fix it. Yeah. It's one of those things, I'm sure you read The Coddling of the American Mind.
Yes.
Right. It's in there, right? All of this data that says since the time that playgrounds went from concrete to wood chips, all this data of trying to keep kids so away from danger and hurt that they lose the ability to take risk.
That's it.
And it's that simple, right? We are of an age of adults where some of those people were not coddled, but they also were just so discouraged from failure that taking a risk now at the place where they have the resources, have the vision, have the interest, have the support of the community, they still feel like they can't do it. And that lack of permission for their own growth then translates into other people's permission around them to have to stay in the same place, right? Exactly. So that role clarity that you're describing is, if I can't grow, I won't let anybody else around me grow.
Right. You're stuck in that development. It's Dr. Camilo Ortiz. I knew it would come to me.
Wonderful.
Just these are things that we're mindful of, and it's so interesting to me that when I know that I'm on the right track is when what I'm thinking about at home and in my home life, in that home sphere, is also informing what I do at work and working with leaders, and then vice versa. So like you said, this journey about becoming CEO is stepping into more of the like cohesion, stepping into the abundance that's available, and just like a deep knowing that I'm on the right path.
Yeah. And also stepping into that genius zone, right? Like that zone where it's a reciprocal process, that as you're giving, you're receiving, and people are growing as you're growing. And I think especially in leadership, we miss that opportunity because we are so accountable to the outcome, right? We feel so accountable to the Q1 goals and the making sure that the board is up to date on what's happening. We're meeting all of these markers, but we sometimes miss the mark on actual growth, right? And I think that's where the leadership conversation needs to really come back to. I mean, when I work with organizations, I'm like, okay, what's going on in your life? What's your vision personally? Right? Because you can't contribute to like this organizational vision if you feel like you're lacking in your own personal visioning, right? That just doesn't integrate with how you give your gift to the organization. It's not going to work.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's part of your process, is like just bring, the personal, the professional live close to each other. So one is informing the other, and you bring that up with your clients.
I mean, that's the work. That's the work. Yeah. That's how I end up, being that voice in people's head, like you were joking about earlier. People are like, oh, I heard you this morning. And I'm like,
right here on my shoulder, right where I want you.
Courtney, is that the vision?
Courtney, what are you doing? What is that? That's not part of your vision. Check your board.
I love it.
Check yourself. Check your board.
I love it. Courtney, okay, as we're kind of wrapping up, we don't want to hold people too long, because if you're watching this at work, we don't want to get you in trouble. Okay, right. Here's the thing. The vision for us is always this kind of dynamic tool, a discerning tool really, for making every other decision. Where do you see the next big decision for Courtney, for Reach, for the growth of this vision you're building?
Do you know what I'm going to get close to soon?
Yeah.
Tell me if this is not what you meant by
your question. I want to know whatever you meant.
I think what's coming up real soon is building the business, more hiring, and even thinking about, I've built this quite locally. I'm in Massachusetts, and I've done a lot of like really hyper local work. And I'm really interested in that. In the large part, as you said, because I am a parent, because I build a family here, because I want this, we've been here in this town for 18 years or more. Yeah. I want this to be my village. I like that when our son goes out for a bike ride, I know he has eyes on him. People know us, we know them, and I do with their families. So I like building into this world, But what is soon on the way, I bet, is like more travel. Like, are you, going to get on the plane and go do, or on the road, Christal,
Yeah.
It's coming back, and that's a really interesting place to be. Like I said, sort of like yesterday me knows that my body is built for 14, 15-hour days. I love work. I love this work. So I'm ready. And what is the sacrifice? And are you willing to be there? So I feel like right up against that, a little flavors of it's coming, how much do you want to overextend in your work world to grow something that is just and right, and you believe in it?
Yeah.
But, how well can you attend to everything you've established in these 2 years? Routine and consistency, and just showing up as a good parent, showing up as a present partner, it's all right there.
Yeah.
Knocking at the door.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So good choices, a good problem to have.
Right.
know?
Great problems to have. Like,
Yeah.
what's that thing that's out now? Like, what a gift to be exhausted from the work that you once dreamed of doing. What a
Yeah.
gift, right?
Sure.
And so the other part is that we have to train ourselves, right? Like, not to complain about getting what we asked for.
I know.
Right. And not being afraid of more, right? You can be grateful
That's
and
it.
still want more. And I love this, what you're saying about, because a lot of people believe that they have to be known by everyone to be successful. Like your definition of success of being hyper local, digging deep, having a root system that continues to support and grow your business and your family simultaneously. Like, y'all, that's the vision. That's a vision of holistic success, authentic freedom. That's is what you want to put on that board, not like, I want 3 yachts. No, you don't. You don't even know how to take care of a yacht.
No.
It's gonna end up on boats that are being rented every other week. Don't do that.
You don't know.
Right? Like all the things that we kind of miss, that we hear the noise that sounds successful, but we don't actually cull that wisdom you talked about in the beginning and actually create something that feels livable for us.
Right. Isn't that interesting though? It's like I call it like my old measuring stick. I've got an old measure. I pull this out and I'm trying to measure my success and my satisfaction with this old tool. It's outdated. It doesn't work anymore. No. It's saying it has a dollar amount on it. And now some of that is important. I hold that truth as well. Yeah. But trying to put that old measuring stick down and dismantle the coding, like you said, that's actually not my vision. Exactly. That is someone's vision. I hear it. The message is loud, but that is dictated by other structures that are not mine. Exactly. But I do pick it up and put it down pretty routinely. I'll just
well, you have to, because you're like, where did this come from? Oh, I don't use that anymore.
I don't use that.
Right? You just have to continue to like reinvent like your way of thinking, because your thinking is what's going to create the next reality. So cheers to you. I'm proud of you. Not that you need to hear me say it, but I'm proud of you, friend. Nice work.
Thank you.
Continue to fight the good fight and help us all kind of narrow in on the roles we should be playing, right, in life and in work. If you're out there and you are trying to figure out how in the world you even start this work, like build a business, build a life, build a sense of belonging and belief in your own intuitive voice, then I want you to go to thevisionzone.com. Check in on the Vision Circle. It's a once monthly live coaching program with a community of people from all over the country. Don't be intimidated. It's not a bunch of people who are in there trying to be the best. It's a bunch of people who are trying to be better at being themselves. And that includes your work life, your family, your everything. Jump over to the Vision Zone. I'd love to see you there the first Tuesday of every month. And if you have something have a burning question, please drop it below wherever platform you're watching this video, and I'll make sure me and Courtney answer it. Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll get back to you. All right. Hey, have an amazing Monday, y'all. Thank you, Courtney, and we will see you in the Vision Zone.
Thanks, Christal.